Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and do a review of Love After Lockup, Season 2, Episode 28, and I promise you guys next time it will be on camera. I just didn't have it in me to try to set up everything and do it today. It just would take too much energy, but in any event, Shane and Lacey woke up in the hotel room. They showed how gross Lacey looked with no makeup on. As she laid in the bed with Shane, she decided to start texting John. And the thing of it is on the last episode, Lacey, after taking Shane out and trying on suits and basically showing him around town, she decided to take him back to the hotel, which is where this one opened up at. And she told him that she didn't want to have sex with him. She wanted to get to know him a little bit more. I think she's just trying to stall on having sex with him. And this was interesting to me because if you look at all the other women on there, they can't wait to get into some sexual situation. I digress back to Plastic Lips Lacey and Shane, but they ultimately go to a restaurant to meet up with Lacey's best friend. She says that because Shane means so much to her, she wants him to meet her best friend. Y'all, Shane don't mean nothing to her. He really doesn't. She's simply just trying her hand at playing two people because she just got out of a marriage. Miranda, the friend, talked about how disappointed John, Lacey's fiance, was going to be when he gets out and find out about Shane. Once again, Lacey's plastic lips nearly ran off of her face. But she then cautioned Lacey on how reckless she was being. The thing of it is Lacey already know how reckless she's being. She already knows the situation. She just wants to play the game. Nobody really needs to caution her. Y'all, Lacey is trying to get in where she can fit in. She feeling like she's hot with all the surgery she bought, and she wants to get these two dudes who are in prison, and I think it gives her a thrill because it makes her a hot commodity to them. I think that both of them know that they don't have that many options, or at least Lacey feels like they don't have that many options. So she feels like all the attention will be on her. Plus, they come out, they're on house arrest or parole, so they can't really get into any trouble. And I think that really provides a sense of safety for Lacey. I don't think she's really worried about what John is going to do when he gets out, because ultimately if he does too much, he's going back in there. So I don't think that she's being reckless. I do think that it will cause drama for her in the end, but she can simply just keep it a certain way and he won't even find out. But moving right along to Vince and Amber. In this part, Vince and Amber are actually looking for a bed because Amber has to parole at someone's house. She ultimately decides to parole somewhere other than Vince's house, which Vince doesn't like. And the reality of it is Amber is clearly just not into Vince. She actually said that she only agreed to marry him because of the attention he gave her in prison. She said this on the last episode, in which they were on his patio talking, and then she mentioned that she wasn't interested in working out with Vince. Now, Vince was apparently trying to get her to work out, but she stated she just didn't want to work out with him because he was so intense. Now, I know that all this happened on last episode, but since I didn't cover last episode, I'm trying to get as much of it in so that you guys don't miss out on it. I'm trying to mix the reviews. But they went to a clothing store so that Vince could buy her some clothes, and she once again, because he wanted her to buy workout clothes, told Vince that she's not interested in working out with him. She wants to work out, but just not with him because he's too intense. He likes to press issues, and he seems to think that Amber is his soulmate, but Amber clearly doesn't feel the same way. I just don't get why he can't see that, but it's looking like he's starting to see it. But in any event, he went and bought her a bed because ultimately the person's house that she's paroling to, she doesn't have a bed there. So he goes and he drops $700 on the bed. While they're there, he's talking about how he hopes that that's the first of many times they're in that bed together. Meanwhile, y'all, Amber is over here looking unbothered, showing that she's clearly not into Vince. I think she's going to string things along with Vince until he just really realizes that nothing is going to happen with her. But quiet as it's kept, I think that Amber doesn't like men. Did you guys notice how she really has a masculine essence to her? She seems just very masculine to me. And being in prison, and I've watched some of those prison shows specifically with women, they get turned out too. They have needs too, and men aren't there, so they end up getting with women, and maybe they get turned all the way out. And I think that's what happened to Amber. Either that, or she's really just not into Vince, which she alluded to a couple episodes back. She said that it's a different type of connection now that she's out of prison, meaning she has her freedom and she simply just doesn't want to be with him. But Vince talked about how he doesn't see how he's going to be patient much longer because he had certain expectations, mainly that she was going to get on and have sex with him. But the bid gets delivered, and Vince is yet again complaining that Amber isn't affectionate to him. Amber lets him know that she's spending the night at her parole house because she just needs time. Vince reluctantly agrees, but then when he gets into the car, he talks about how these weren't his expectations. He expected to come out, have a happy situation with her, that the connection would be great, and that they would get married, but instead she's distant. And my thing of it is look, he needs to understand that it is different when you're in prison as a prisoner. Of course you're going to attach yourself to whoever's there. Of course you're going to want that companionship, and it's going to seem like a intense, very nice connection. I know I would probably be like that too, but once you get out, I'm sure for them, they're rethinking it. And I think that that's what a lot of these people who get into these prison situations don't get. But Vince, I mean, it is what it is. Amber's just not into him. So after having sex in the dirt, which was really disgusting, Cheryl and her Ted Bundy dude go to a restaurant to discuss his parole and his mom showed up. Now, can I tell you guys how disgusting it makes me that she literally took a blanket and pulled over to the side of the road with this man who just got out of prison. She don't know who he's been with in prison, either voluntarily or by force. He didn't appear to take a shower, but yet she puts a blanket in the dirt and lays down and have sex with him. And the thing of it is on the last season earlier, another person did that. Like, I'm just like, what's with these chicks and not having these, like, at least go back to the hotel and take a shower. Get in the shower with him. But my thing of it is, I'm not having sex with you as soon as you leave the prison yard. That's just not going to happen. You are getting clean. And then what's up with not testing them for STDs? It's like they just don't care. But I mean, if she like it, then whatever. But anyway, Josh's mom shows up, and obviously him and Cheryl don't get along. His mom says she doesn't want Cheryl at the house because there's some backwoods hillbilly trailer park situation going on where she thinks that Cheryl was trying to have sex with her man. Cheryl gets up and leaves the restaurant to go cry in the car, talking about how much she doesn't like Tina, Josh's mom. Josh goes in the car after her. And while they're in the car, Cheryl is basically saying that she doesn't appreciate how things went on at the restaurant. She doesn't really feel like Josh had her back. But ultimately, Josh did decide that he's going to parole at his mom's house, and his mom is not going to let her be there. She makes it known that she's not going to let her be there. So Cheryl was thinking that she was going to get some quality time. She was thinking she was going to be at the hotel with her serial killer, but he had to go and get an ankle bracelet put around him. So now he's in full-fledged house arrest. He can't really go anywhere. She can't see him at all. So I don't even know how this is going to turn out. Either Cheryl's going to just have to make nice with his mom or figure out another situation, because that ankle monitor says that he can't go anywhere that he's authorized to. And I don't think booty calls with your prison girlfriend counts as an important endeavor. So Cheryl ultimately calls her sister because she's in a hotel crying. She wants to get advice, but because her sister, the corrections officer, and she already knows how these things go, she's not hearing Cheryl's cries. So she said, oh, you got yourself into this. This is on you. So she doesn't want to hear it. Cheryl can't take it, and she continues crying. Like, I'm so tired of seeing people on here cry. But anyway, in the last episode, Angela, with her delusional self, convincing herself somehow that Tony likes her, it's really, really, really interesting that she can't see it. A lot of these women, not just on these show, but in general, women do tend to convince themselves that they're in a situation that they're not. They'll ignore all of the signs, but Angela basically drops Tony off at the halfway house because that's where he has to parole to. Now, we already know that the bottom line of it is he's not into her. When she gave him a choice between a blowjob and a steak, he took the steak, and any heterosexual male who's been in prison is going to take a blowjob. They don't care how hungry they are. So now that he's been at the halfway house, Angela is going to a bridal shop so she can waste money on a dress because she refuses to see that Tony isn't interested in having sex with her, let alone marrying her. She's having a discussion with her friends when Tony calls and tells Angela that he's going back to prison for basically not meeting his curfew. He sits here and gives her this cockamamie story about how he violated his parole and says that he can't tell her where he is. All he mentioned is that someone picked him up. Clearly he was out with a woman who didn't need to Photoshop her pictures, and then said that he lost track of time. Now, Angela's friends is telling her that she needs to leave Tony, but Angela ultimately convinces herself that Tony loves her. Now, Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles can see that that's really not the case, and clearly he was out with a different woman, but Angela's going to believe whatever she needs to tell herself to satisfy her desire to be with this man. Mind you, she doesn't even know where he is because when she asked, he hung up on her, but she still has this delusion that somehow he loves her and is going to be with her. Andrea, as we move right along, she's sitting in her house, she's packing her bags and getting ready to hit the road to go pick up Lamondre because she's saying it's the day that he's getting out of prison. So she's really happy. She did have on a cute outfit, but I can't with Andrea and that wig. Like, I'm not feeling the color in terms of it matching with her skin tone. I just don't like it. I think she should do something more of a reddish brown if she's going to do it, but whatever. I can't control how her hair is done. But she talked about how much Lamondre has financially helped her, which that's actually good because usually in these situations you see the women shelling out all of their money to the man, but in this situation Andrea talks about how he's providing for her. But in the last episode, you know, she finally told her mom that she wanted to get married to Lamondre, although her mom doesn't approve of him. Her mom realized this, look, this woman is grown, she's gonna do whatever she wants to do, and it's good that her mom feels that way because ultimately people are gonna do that. But did anybody notice how Andrea's sister really looks like a drug addict? She like has the addict face. But in any event, she tried on the dress, talked to her mom, who told her to just do whatever she wants to do, and now she's in this episode trying to get ready to go pick up Lamondre, but Lamondre tells her that he's actually not getting out. Andrea has a massive tantrum because she was happy that he was getting out of prison, and of course she was. She has all these plans of them living it up in wealth, and she just couldn't wait. She wanted to be with her prison bae, but he called her to tell her that he's actually not getting out. Now, he didn't say why he wasn't getting out. He said that his attorneys called him and just told him right at the last minute, but that causes Andrea to freak out, throw her phone, and start crying. Like, literally. She basically threw a tantrum and says she doesn't even know that she wants to talk to him. She goes outside, argues with him, but then the producer comes out and she asks the producer if it's real. The producer say yeah, that they knew about it. I don't know how the producers are finding out this stuff before Andrea is, but somehow they knew. They probably have something going on with the prison, who knows. But Andrea starts crying, and then the producer comforts her. And that was like the end of the show. I'm telling you guys, most of the show is actually ads and commercials. But the reason I'm not covering Daniel and Lizzie's situation is because they're boring, and I don't want to cover their story. And there's really nothing there other than Daniel getting out of jail, being scary of everything, including the car moving, literally, and then Lizzie saying she wants to have sex with him. They're so bent up on sex, y'all, I'm telling you. But she has secrets to tell him, and she doesn't know how he's going to feel about how she's been behaving, meaning she's been having sex with other men, yet she's acting like she can't wait to have sex with him. And it's like, well, you've been out there getting it in anyway, so why do you need to have it with him? You can wait a few days. But she says as much. She says that, oh, well, I can wait a few days. Of course you can. because you already been getting it in. That's what she's ultimately going to tell him. But I don't want to cover Lizzie and Daniel's segment, but you guys can let me know if you want me to. If you want me to and you need me to, then I'll include it in there since it is part of the show. But let me know what you guys think, and next time the review will be on camera, and I probably will start, assuming that the season hasn't ended, reviewing 90 Day Fiancé the other way. But you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.